Yo, what up, my MLB fanatics? This is one of a kind here with Snowflake. We're gonna live stream these new content that's available for the MLB. I don't think Jeter has. Does Jeter have anything new? All right, so Jeter's still coming soon, so we can't do Jeters. But I heard there are new. Yeah, yeah. All right, we going Jose Mendez, Larry Doby, or Leon Day? Let's go Jose Mendez. Let's see what they have to say about him.
One of the greatest pitchers you've likely never heard of hails from Cuba. His nickname, El Diamante Negro, the Black Diamond. This is the great Jose Mendez, possessing a dynamic fastball, a great hard-breaking curveball, and pinpoint control to go along with it. He dazzled not only in Cuba, but also in the Negro Leagues here in the United States with the great Kansas City Monarchs. And how did the great Major League manager John McGraw describe Jose Mendez? Only as a combination of Walter Johnson and Grover Alexander. That's pretty good.
Wow. Walter Johnson and Grover Alexander. That's a pretty good combination of people there. Pitch one inning, do not give up one. Does that say don't give up one hit? Yep.
So now at the plate, Sellers. The wind of the pitch. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1.
Wow, he's very, very, very long delivery. Oh, he's smooth though.
Oh, that's that slope right there. He's doing extremely well. Talk about just a ton of breaks. So tough to get that barrel to.
Inside just missed.
You know, Jose Mendez wasn't just a terrific force on the mound. He was a really great manager, too. He was the player manager for the Monarchs for 3 straight years as Negro National League champs, as well as the 1924 Negro Leagues World Series.
Sanders in the box now. No balls and a strike. Foul ball there. Something I found out, Mendez was actually a shortstop when he was growing up, but he did some relief pitching as well. When Jose signed to Almendares, they made him a starter, and his first start was a shutout. Here's Digo, and first offering is fouled off. Swings through that one for strike.
Who is this? Martin Digo? Yes, it is. No chance.
The relationship between the Negro Leagues and Cuba and Spanish-speaking countries in general was a bond created by baseball. Negro League players would venture down to Cuba well before major leaguers would go there, and of course, they were welcomed with open arms. And as I reflect on my friend Buck O'Neill, who recalled going to Havana, as he would say, when Havana was Havana. Oh, it was absolutely beautiful, as Buck would recall, how much they enjoyed the scenery and the treatment that they were welcomed to when they came to Cuba. And then when the Cuban athletes would venture away from home to come play in the Negro Leagues, they got the exact acceptance here in the Negro Leagues. You see, the Negro Leagues just simply did not care what color you were. All they cared was, can you play?
Amen, brother. Amen.
Bottom of the first. And
Strike out 3 batters over 2
now
innings.
Sellers. The pitch. Got it started a little too early. Strike one.
Such a long history of great players from Cuba, Boog, and not just in the Negro Leagues. Long before Jackie Robinson broke the Major League color line in 1947, Gulf Luke was an ace for Cincinnati and Brooklyn. He was able to play because of his lighter skin.
Sanders now at the plate as he swings through strike one. On the ground, and that's just foul. You mentioned those pre-integration Cuban players, Chris. After the color line was broken, of course, that opened the door for more great Cuban-born players like Minnie Minoso, Tony Olivo, Louis Tion Jr., and Tony Perez. Ground ball up the middle, into the outfield, base hit. So a man aboard now with one away. And here's the catcher, Ford. Tapped at the plate, but it's a foul ball. Mendez kicks and delivers. Swing and a miss, and that's strike two.
Boog, you brought up those old Cuban players like Minoso and Oliva, but there are plenty of Cuban-born stars in the majors these days, too. Guys like Yordan Alvarez, Raisel Iglesias, Randy Arozarena, and Luis Robert Jr. are lighting things up in the show these days.
2 outs. Mendez keeps mowing down Chicago with his 3rd K. And we're back, ready to go for the last half of the inning. Digging in, Perry. There's a strike. Swings and misses. And the count is 0-2. Struck him out looking.
Hey, quick
Now
sell,
here is Little. That's in for a strike. One out, base is empty. On the ground, right side. The flip to the pitcher covering, and a couple of quick outs. Newman in the box with 2 gone, and takes a look at a called strike. Big swing and a miss. Swing and a miss, struck him out.
Physically, Jose Mendez reminds me of the great Major League pitcher, Pedro Martinez. Built almost identical. He was a small man, wiry, long arms, long fingers, an arm much bigger than his stature. Blazing fastball, high-rising fastball with a sharp breaking curveball, and then you add the dimension of pinpoint control, it was virtually unhittable.
right now, Snowflake, I'm just doing a pitching challenge. There is no hitting yet.
With the tying run in scoring position at the bottom of the 9th, Perry now at the plate. That misses the zone, and that is ball 1.
I think ultimately you want to tie him up, get the ball in on the plate so that he can't get the barrel to it and hit it to the outfield.
And fouled off. And the 0-1.
This situation, he's trying to get you to pop something up or jam you. That's a really good take, knowing you got an opportunity to drive that around here.
Mendez to the plate. That ball is foul, and the pressure is building. And a swing and a miss. Mendez 1 out away from slamming the door for the Monarchs. Lifted to left, and this should do it. Ball game. Mendez close.
Breakout season.
Jose Mendez's breakout season in 1908 as a youngster is one for the record books. The Cincinnati Reds had ventured down to Cuba as Cuba was open now for goodwill tours of baseball. Jose Mendez welcomed the Cincinnati Reds to his native Cuba by pitching 25 consecutive shutout innings. Oh, it gets even better. He would go on to add to that number, compiling 45 consecutive shutout innings against both minor and major league teams during that particular jaunt there in Cuba. I'm not sure you'll see that feat duplicated again.
45 shutout innings. That's 5 straight 9-inning games. What is this challenge? 2 innings, do not give up 1 run or walk 1 batter.
And welcome back to the ballpark. Now it's going to be Sawyer. And the first pitch misses for ball 1. Jose Mendez's whole run against the Reds is incredible, but I want to focus on the first game they saw him. Mendez went out there and threw a one-hitter, and he was just 21 years old at the time. So digging in, Walker. It's crazy what Mendez was able to do in 1908, and not just against the Reds. He led the Cuban League with 157 strikeouts. That was almost twice as many as the next best pitcher in the league. Got him looking. 2 gone as Mendez continues to cook. Todd, the batter now as he swings and misses for strike 1. Swing and a miss.
Back on that series against the Reds, Jose had such dark skin that the Reds wouldn't sign him, even after he dominated their hitters. They did sign his lighter-skinned teammate Armando Marsans 3 years later. Marsans was good, but Mendez was the real star on that squad.
And first offering is fouled off. And that one is inside. This one in the air center field. McDonald makes the grab, 1 down. Here's Turner now. Fought off foul. Kicks and deals. 1 out, base is empty. Goes down looking. Saunders digs in now. A bit behind with that swing. It's strike 1.
0-1's the count.
They're down to their final strike. Mendez is just 1 strike away. And that'll do it.
Kansas City success.
Jose Mendez had the stuff. He had all the stuff. So much so that the great James Leslie Wilkinson, the owner of the Kansas City Monarchs, would bring the Black Diamond over to Kansas City. Mendez responded as the Monarchs would become a juggernaut there in the Negro National League. Jose Mendez was a tremendous pitcher because not only did he start, he also closed games, many games as a member of the Kansas City Monarchs. In 7 amazing seasons in the Negro Leagues, Jose Mendez posted a 30-9 one-loss record with a dazzling 3.46 ERA.
Wow. All right. 1 inning. Do not give up 1 run.
They're digging in now. Here comes a pitch. In there for a strike at the bottom of the zone.
When Jose Mendez joined the Monarchs in 1920, he became the final piece of one of the greatest rotations in baseball history. They had Mendez, John Donaldson, and Bullet Joe Rogan, all future MLB Hall of Famers.
Perry in the box lays off for ball one. Going back to that incredible Monarchs rotation, Chris, it makes me think of the Braves stats in the 1990s. Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, John Smoltz, or even 2019, the Astros with Cole, Verlander, and Greinke. Next offering is in for a strike.
Two more great historic rotations, Blue. The 1966
1924 World Series Game 1.
Jose Mendez's dazzling pitching career was somewhat shortened by the fact that he had some arm trouble about 6 years into his career. And he moved to shortstop, and he played a great shortstop. But when he needed to toe the rubber, Mendez summoned up the strength to get out on the mound, and he dazzled once again, helping the Monarchs capture the inaugural Negro Leagues World Series. An exciting 10-game series against the Hilldale Daisies out of Darby, Pennsylvania. And Jose Mendez was one of the stars of that series, winning the deciding game number 10 to bring the title home to the Heartland.
Jose Mendez
Tally 2 hits.
stepping in now. Swung on, belted. And that should be extra bases. One run is in, coming home. He scores as well, and they lead by 4. And this is going to be a 2-out triple. On the ground to the left. In there safely.
(1924) World Series Game number 10. Pitch 1 run. What?
West.
Pitch 1 inning, do not give up 5 runs.
We'll hit next. The right-hander back to work. Misses off the plate, and that's ball 1.
It's not just that Jose Mendez won Game 10 of that 1924 Negro Leagues World Series. He won Game 6 in relief, too. But what he did in Game 10 really was sensational. A 3-hit shutout to close out the series.
Swing and a miss, and he got him. Mendez still keeping the Hilldales at bay. Just 2 outs from a title. Swings and misses. No balls, 2 strikes. So they're down to their final out. Little, the next to hit. Outside corner, there's a strike. On that incredible Mendez performance in the 24 World Series, don't forget that he was in his late 30s, and Game 10 was played in Chicago in 30-degree weather.
A truly dominant pitcher.
Jose Mendez was one of the most dominant pitchers this game has ever seen. The Black Diamond. Oh, and he was a great one. He is rightfully enshrined in the National Baseball Hall of Fame. It's almost shameful that it took until 2006 for his induction, but he's finally where he absolutely belongs in the National Baseball Hall of Fame as one of those stellar arms from both Cuba and the Negro Leagues.
Awesome. We got Jose Mendez, chat. Let's see what his batting looks like. Okay. Good speed. Okay. 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 Look at that. He can play every position except for catcher, chat. First, second, third, short, left, center, right. He can play every position except for catcher. What a pinch hitter to have. All right, next is Larry Doby.
For the African American population, when Jackie Robinson breaks Major League Baseball's color barrier, it carried the same level of euphoria that we saw as a nation when Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. And of course, Buzz Aldrin also walked on the moon, and Buzz is the forgotten man. Larry Doby would sign with Cleveland literally just weeks after Jackie Robinson breaks the color barrier with the Brooklyn Dodgers, and Larry Doby is the forgotten man. Larry Doby went through just as much. Some may even argue even more than Jackie because he was playing in the American League. And the American League wasn't nearly as liberal as the National League. When he walked into the locker room with Cleveland, no one would shake his hand. When he stepped out on the field, no one wanted to warm up with him. Larry Doby was 23 years old, thrown into a powder keg of racism. Yet Larry Doby had the exact same pedigree that made Jackie the right one to be the first. College educated, had served in the Navy during World War II, was an outstanding baseball player for the Negro League's Newark Eagles. And it didn't take long. Larry Doby never played a day in the minor leagues. He went straight from the Newark Eagles over to Cleveland. And in 1948, he and the old man, Satchel Paige, helped Cleveland win the World Series.
The Cleveland Indians
Wow.
the Boston Braves in the 1948 World Series.
Never played a single game of minor leagues. Larry Doby. All right, what I got to do? One hit, don't strike out.
Down the line. And no one can get to it. It's a foul ball. One down, base is empty. Swing and a ball lifted in the air, left field, pretty well struck. In the air to make the catch.
Oh, he robbed me.
When Larry Doby played football for Eastside High School in New Jersey, they had a game against Montclair High. You know who was on that Montclair team? The other second man on the moon, Buzz Aldrin.
No trouble here, puts it away for the out. And there's one away.
That high school game with Doby and Aldrin was actually at Hinchliffe Stadium, which was also one of the home stadiums.
Oh, perfect.
Doby played there in 1943 and went 2 for 5 with 2 doubles.
There we go.
In 1946, the great Larry Doby had a tremendous season. He helped Newark win the Negro Leagues World Series. And during that season, he only hit .341, was named to the East-West All-Star Game, and finished 1 home run behind league leaders Josh Gibson and Johnny Davis.
Two hits, one of them being extra
Larry
bases.
Doby steps in with a runner on and nobody out.
Perfect.
Nice knock right field. Lead runner touches second, headed for third. And the throws offline.
There's my one hit. Now I just need one for extra bases. Could be a double, triple, or a dinger.
Larry Doby thought he'd be playing shortstop for Newark, but Hall of Fame player and manager Willie Wells had that position already, and he suggested to Larry that he was a more natural outfielder. You didn't argue with the guy whose nickname was Devil.
He takes it himself to the bag, and that'll do it.
During World War II, Doby played for the Great Lakes Naval Station's black baseball team, and he hit .348. They also had basketball and football teams, but only the football team was integrated. Hall of Famer Marion Motley was the star.
Swinging a deep drive. This one
Yakety.
chance way back there, and boom goes the dynamite.
Good gracious. Tally 3 total bases.
Larry Doby steps in to take on Satchel. Line drive to
Oh.
You know, Boog, Larry Doby thought of that 1946
That was
Eagles
swooshed.
team as one of the best he ever played on. Didn't hurt that he was teammates with 3 future Hall of Famers, Willie Wells, Leon Day, and Monty Irvin.
out towards left
Ah,
side.
pop him up.
Sizes this one up. Nabs it. One away. There was one more Hall of Famer on that 1946 Eagles team, Siggy. Manager Biz Mackey. He was 48 by then, but still played 10 games for the Eagles as a catcher. First pitch doesn't find the zone.
Perfect.
On the line, base hit.
Need a double.
And he deals. Ground ball right side. And it goes just foul.
Perfect.
And a seed into center. That's a
I'm
base
going for
hit.
2.
Makes the turn and heads for second.
That's it. Done deal.
The second is offline.
That dude Dobie reminds me of Mookie Betts.
Like a lot of players from the Negro Leagues, Larry Doby was an outstanding multi-sport athlete. He'd been a star basketball player at Long Island University, where he played under the assumed name of Larry Walker to protect his amateur status while he was playing for the Newark Eagles. Larry Doby would go on to become the first black to play in the American Basketball League, which would become the precursor to the National Basketball Association.
Whoa. Cool. Tally 1 extra base hit and 1 ribby.
One down. Larry Doby digging in now. That's off the mark, and it's 1-0.
You know, Larry Doby was stationed in Hawaii for part of his military service, and he practiced with Major Leaguer
Ooh.
Vernon was so impressed, he recommended Doby to Washington Senators owner Clark Griffith, but Griffith wasn't brave enough to sign Doby.
The 1-1. Late swing, foul to the left. Chris, what you said about Clark Griffith is such a contrast to Bill Veeck, who signed Doby to Cleveland in 1947. Doby said that when he signed, Veeck told him, "We're in this together."
Oh, just missed it.
Doby. Righty to the plate. Hit weakly on the ground.
There's my ribby.
Now 2 away as they get a run across.
Going
Now I
back
see
to
the extra
Mickey
base hit.
Vernon, Doby actually wrote to Vernon after getting discharged from the military and asked for a couple of his bats. Vernon sent him a dozen of his own Louisville Sluggers.
Here's a rocket out to left.
Ah.
Trouble here, puts it away for the out. And there's one down. Out towards right center field. Makes a move towards the gap. Long run, tracks it down. And there's one down.
All right, last at bat. Need extra base hit.
Swing and a base hit. Around first, heading for two. Now the tag at second, and he's out. Trying for two.
Ah,
Now it's
one
the
more.
second baseman, Larry Doby. Left field.
Hey.
Brings it in. Out. Number two.
Darn, they gave me a courtesy at bat. I still couldn't get it done.
One down. Larry Doby digging in now. Hammered down the line.
That's gonna do it.
And now maybe extra bases. And they'll score first. It's 1-0. Doby into second, and he's got a double.
A young Larry Doby would recall his first game in the Negro Leagues against the Homestead Grays. Who was the catcher? The great Josh Gibson. Larry Doby gets into the batter's box. Gibson looks up at him and says, "Son, we're going to see how you handle a fastball." Larry Doby singled. Next time up, Gibson says, "Son, we're going to see how you handle a curveball." Larry Doby singled again. The next time up, Josh Gibson says, "We gonna see how you react when you get knocked down." They knocked him down. He gets up. He pops up. The next time up, they knock him down. But this time, he singles again. Your life was tough in the Negro Leagues. They were never afraid to knock you down. But Larry Doby was never afraid to get
Back up. Awesome. Sure. Do you need some help with it? Okay. Tally 2 hits with 1 ribby.
Now the number 2 hitter, Larry Doby. And that one is lifted in the air. Sanders drifts towards it. Makes the grab. Runner tags for third.
Yep, that's my ribby.
And he's in to score. And it's 1-0.
Just need 2 hits.
And the pitch. Sharp
There's
grounder.
one.
That's through for a base hit. So a runner aboard to start the inning. The line of the pitch. In the air out towards right center.
That's called, isn't it? Man, he's smacked up.
One up, one down.
Larry Doby took
All
a
right,
lot
last
of
chance.
pride in breaking
Just need a
barriers.
single.
He said he hit better in Washington and St. Louis because that's where the Parks had segregated seats.
Perfect.
So he could tell where
Oh,
the
he ran it
fans
down.
were cheering him on from.
Reaching for it. Makes the catch. Larry Doby digging in now. And the righty deals.
Ah, yeah.
And they get. Stepping in the long ball threat, Larry Doby. That one ripped but foul. Runner at third here, nobody out.
You see, I didn't move with me on that one.
On the ground right side, and it's just foul. That was close. Left-hand hitter waits. And that one is
That a blue?
in the air. Touches down. That's a hit. And they strike first as they take a 1-0 lead. Now the tag
One more
is
hit.
second, and he's out. Trying for two. That one hit to right.
Just missed it.
Under it. Makes the catch. 2 down. Hit hard. That gets
That's
through.
it.
Throw back in quickly. First and second now with nobody out.
If you want an indication of why Larry Doby was the second man to walk on the moon, well, when he gets called up in 1947, he was only hitting .414. Over a decade-long major league career, 9-time All-Star, the first African-American to lead either league in home runs in 1952. He also led the league in runs scored that season. He would go on to become the second African-American to manage in Major League Baseball, only behind the great Frank Robinson. He would become the first to win both a Negro Leagues World Series and a Major League World Series, on his way into the National Baseball Hall of Fame.
Larry Doby. The living legend, Larry. All right, what we got to do in this one? One hit.
An historic moment as Larry Doby digs in for his Cleveland debut. Out to center. Fox has a beat on it. He's there. He's got it. Runner tagging and heading for home. It's a sac fly as he comes across to score. It's 5-2. Larry Doby digging in now. And he chases that one below the zone.
Before Larry Doby played this game with Cleveland, none of his teammates would warm up with him. Then their second baseman, Hall of Famer Joe Gordon, did it himself, and that meant a lot to Doby. He said it showed something to their teammates.
Here's the second baseman, Larry Doby.
There it is.
It's a base hit. Run scores.
The legendary Jim Mudcat Grant, the first African-American pitcher to win 20 games in the American League. He was a roommate of Larry Doby when he was with Cleveland, and Mudcat was in awe of Larry Doby. And so as Mudcat would tell the story, he got to the hotel room before Larry Doby does, where he hears the key in the door, and there he is. And as Mudcat would describe Larry Doby to him, looked like a giant. He says to Mudcat, "You must be Mudcat." Mudcat says, "Yes, sir, Mr. Doby." He said, "Which bed would you like?" Mudcat says, "Yes, sir, Mr. Doby." He said, "Do you like to watch TV?" He says, "Yes, sir, Mr. Doby." And Larry Doby finally said, "Look, you got to stop with all this, yes, sir, Mr. Doby." And Mudcat says, "Yes, sir, Mr. Doby." The admiration, the respect that was held for this pioneering baseball player and what he meant to this sport was outstanding.
Wow. Tallied 4 total bases.
The star center fielder Larry Doby digging in for Cleveland now. Hard
There's
grounder
one.
into the outfield for a knock. throw in holds the lead runner at second. 2 on now with 2 away.
Oh, man, that was a good hit.
Larry Doby roomed with 2 great black pitchers in Cleveland, Mudcat Grant and Satchel Paige. Well, sort of. He said, supposedly I roomed with Satch.
Oh, shit.
Makes the play.
You kidding me?
In the dirt, nice job behind the plate. You brought up Satchel Paige, Chris. He actually said that Doby's signing meant more to him than Jackie Robinson's because it proved adding black players was real, not just a show.
Yeah.
It shows you just how important Larry Doby is to baseball history. 2 outs. Not close with that one. 1-2 to count.
I need a triple or a homer right here, Chet.
Doby got traded twice in deals that had Tito Francona going the other way.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. Yakety yak, that ball ain't coming back.
Larry Doby was Cleveland's top hitter and performed excellently on defense.
In a trailblazing career, Larry Doby is still the forgotten man. As I remind our guest here at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, Larry Doby too suffered tremendous indignities as he integrated with Cleveland in 1947. Again, just weeks after Jackie Robinson would break the color barrier.
Jackie Robinson leads off for Brooklyn.
Oh, it was challenging, but Larry Doby endured. And Larry Doby rose above the adversity. But I guess when I stopped to think about it, Larry Doby had been very much prepared to rise above the adversity. After all, that's what the players in the Negro Leagues had done from the start. Larry Doby carried that spirit with him.
This is a great moment. All the struggles that I've gone through and other players of Afro-Americans, this is a reward for all of us.
It's never easy to be the first, but Larry Doby blazed a tremendous path that eventually led him into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. It is still hard to believe that it took until 1998 that Larry Doby would cross the threshold to become one amongst the immortals of this game. But I guess better late than never for this amazing pioneer and this amazing human being.
This is it, what? Lucini pouring from the sky, let's get rich, what? The GG finds the sugar dimes, can't quit.
All right, Leon Day is going to be my last one. I'll be right back, chat. Get my daughter some dessert. Don't go nowhere. Including the milk? Good job, baby dog. Leon Day. Another pitcher. Pitched 2 innings, do not give up 3 hits, do not give up 1 run.
Buck O'Neil would say that the Monarchs were always a good team. But when Satchel was on the mound, they were a great team. But the thing about Satchel was, Satchel brought out the greatness in everyone else. And one of the legendary stars of the Negro Leagues who took the challenge of facing Satchel the most, the great Leon Day.
Now you cut my heart for the evening. Kiss my
Leon Day, who was a great two-way star in the Negro Leagues, faced Satchel on 4 different occasions, winning 3 of those head-to-head matchups against his rival. And in one of the games, they're in the midst of a scoreless pitching duel when Leon Day takes matters in his own hands and hits a